have the honors.
Okay, hello guys, welcome here to the finals match of this SCV Ready Cup tournament. We have here Frankie as the Protoss player versus Maikel in the Protoss. This is gonna be a best of 7 matchup with the starting map being Metalopolis, and I'm really excited about this matchup here coming up. So we see Frankie spawning in as the light blue Protoss player on the top position here on the 1 o'clock position, while Maikel's also Protoss here, blue Protoss player on the 3 o'clock position.
Indeed, both of them are spawning as Protoss, so as we say, most likely, and they're in close position, so most likely going to be some Void Ray play, or maybe some early pressure with some Zealots. It is likely that Frankie does favour the fast aggression, so I wouldn't surprise me if there are 2 gates into Zealot pushing.
Well, my bets are on the 4-gate push by any of those players, while one is trying to tech up a robo-tech. But we're just gonna see as they will notice where they're spawning in, if they're close air positions. They could also try to block off the ramp with some sentries and maybe going for some air Phoenix play or even Void Rays, but I wouldn't favor Void Rays against Protoss, as Protoss myself.
I'm not so much of a Protoss player myself, so I wouldn't. It was just my logical guess, I guess. But I guess you're in the in the Protoss area. You favour myself.
So you see nothing fancy so far. Frankie's getting his 13 gateway, and maybe at the same time here, Maikel, I'm still having problems with the name, sorry guys, getting also his gateway and grabbing his gas, of course, after that. So pretty much mirrored for the moment, nothing exciting going on.
Indeed, I mean, if you bring down the production tab, it is more or less a mirror matchup with everything going down at the time. As Blind has mentioned, there's nothing out of the norm. They are both getting their gases now, both putting probes into gases, so I can't say much at this moment.
Maybe just Frankie is 1 work ahead, slightly ahead in economy. Maybe that's gonna be the bit difference here we have. Maikel's just dropping his cybernetic score, and I will expect we have the cybernetic score also for Frank. So it will take a little bit more time until we might see some diversity among those players.
Indeed, so well, since there's nothing much going on at the moment, I would just like to draw the viewers' attention to yet again our domain name, our tournament, our community, which is scvready.com. Please check it out. The site is not open for launch yet, as there are still things under construction, but feel free to browse around and stay tuned for any more tournaments going on. Some cash games will be in the future as well.
So we see here by Maikel still sticking to 1-gate play, maybe saving a little bit here for his Robo Bay, but also getting a 2nd gateway a little bit later than Frankie does. But Frankie's grabbing his 2nd gas by now, so I think he's overall a little bit here ahead. Also in the worker count, there's 1 worker ahead. And if it comes down to just 1 unit in the end game, it's gonna be Frankie having the little advantage of it.
Indeed, and we see that in the production tab we have both got warp gate technology, except that Frankie has gone for Robotech. One of them has decided to go for Robotech, and I believe the other player, which is Maikel, will decide to go for a 4-gate push.
Yeah, he got his warp gate. He's using Chrono Boost a lot on his warp gate technology, so expect the 4th gateway anytime soon. By now it should be up there. Instead he's grabbing his 2nd gas. I'm not quite sure if this is gonna be really well timed here 4-gate push, but he needs to time it really well against the robotics facility tag here coming up by Frankie.
Indeed so, and I believe that another probe has just gone down. Frankie's just trying to poke in at the front door, but getting his probe getting sniped out.
Experience a little bit lag, but no problem at all. I hope, since Frankie is still controlling his units, and I see the first observer coming out by Frankie, so he's gonna have a better clue about what Maikel is doing. Hopefully a better clue than myself, since he's still to 3 gateways and I don't see any more techie coming out of him. Now he's getting a Robo Bay himself. Sorry, a Robo Facility himself.
Indeed, I think it was a bit later. Both of them are opting to go for their observers, get a better clue. Both of them are playing very, very conservative. I mean, Frankie does opt to go for very, very fast aggression, but since it's the finals or something, maybe it's just got to his head. He has played a lot more conservative and a lot more macro style.
That is right, so we have still the exact same build order by now in the end, with a little bit of diversity as we got into there. So we still both have warp gates now up, 3 warp gates and a robo facility. It's just warping in by Maikel, and almost the same army side. Maikel even ahead by 2 workers now, so it's a little bit mirrored at all.
Indeed, and we can see that Frankie is going to push out with his first Immortal and warping in some more Stalkers and some more, well, with his Zealots. He is going to do the aggressive attack that I have mentioned. He is an aggressive player. If you keep him unaggressive, he will feel itchy all over his body, and he couldn't stand it.
Yeah, from the army composition, I like Frankie's army a little bit more since he already has his Immortal out, and if it comes to the many Stalkers Maikel really has, he can do a lot of damage if microed correctly, if he keeps him alive.
Indeed, and we can see that Frankie has put the backup pylon at the Zelnaga tower, so he can warp in reinforcements. But one thing Maikel could do is split this army into 2, and that's exactly what he's done.
Really nice, trying to snipe down the Immortal with the Stalkers. Not really focusing it out, but now it goes down, but perfect force field, just splitting the armies, making much easier to take down and take a lot of damage here for Frankie. So he is now in the lead army-wise, Maikel, and he could just counter-push at this moment. And Frankie is complaining about lag, so he can obviously not really micro probably. I hope it's not an issue following us longer anymore.
Indeed, but I think that he has gone for some Colossi action. Has he got the external research the extended thermal lance? He has not got that yet, and he is chrono boosting the Colossi out, most likely because he can see that there are Stalkers and Zealots above the horizon.
Yeah, it's gonna be a small timing window here for Maikel to come in, since the extended thermal lance is just now starting, using some... I would love to see some chrono boost at it, since the Nexus is almost full of energy by Frankie, so he's slipping a bit in his macro skills. Maikel is just now pushing high ground advantage here for Frankie. He can use this Colossus to do a little bit more damage, but he has an observer on the high ground here, helping him to shoot there. So if he moves this observer there, he can snipe the observer down. He has a little bit... It's gonna be lots more easier to defend this attack.
Indeed, and Maikel has pushed out and given himself a very nice timing window to put up that Nexus, that expansion, to get that small edge, that even bigger edge in the harvester count, in the income count, in the income war, I guess.
Yes, that's right. And he still didn't spot that little pylon here. Frankie did build at Xelnaga, watched out a warp in reinforcement. It could be really good in a later game on big fights here. If Maikel is moving out, he could warp in units behind to do a good surround here, especially on Stalkers shooting behind if you warp in Zealots in the back.
Indeed, and well, I guess that he didn't even bother checking that Zelnaga tower because he was so confident in his forces. He just walked up to the straight in front where his observers saw everything, and I think that that gave him a false sense of security.
So we see Maikel here answering with the Stargate against the Colossi here coming from Frankie. Love to see some Phoenix play, maybe even Void Rays to help in the big fights. Phoenix are of course a nice choice here with the Graviton Beam, but Frankie is now moving out with the 2 Colossus he has, since he knows he is a little bit behind here in expansion wise in the macro game. So he's trying to do a little bit damage here on Maikel's side.
Indeed, but he has hidden his army right behind, so the Colossi could get potentially sniped out. If he's not careful, the Colossi will go down. Frankie needs to back away them Colossi.
Really nice play here by Maikel, being sneaky in the back, but the Nexus will be sniped down. It's on like, whoa, 90 HP, he's not keep shooting at Frankie. He calls GG as he loses his Colossi. Nice play by Maikel.